Don't forget to like and subscribe, and share your opinion down below.
Am I the idiot for sending my girlfriend's ex-husband a video and probably causing her legal troubles? I am 28, have been with my girlfriend F32 for 14 months. She has 2 daughters, 4 to 7, they're like angels. My girlfriend tells me that taking care of 2 kids is hard. She'd say she's fed up and regrets having kids, let alone with her ex-husband. I have to admit I have no experience with kids. But I've seen some things that my girlfriend does that I find unacceptable. Example, she'd have her 7-year-old go out after 10 p.m. We live in a shitty neighborhood, so having a kid out after 10 is not okay. I always end up arguing with her, especially when she does it without me knowing. Her 4-year-old once was playing in the backyard, ended up getting wet from the tap. She spent hours in wet clothes and caught cold. Also, she doesn't take them out nor buy them snacks despite them constantly asking her to. She goes out with friends in the evening and leave the kids home before I get there. It got me stressed out. I started doing everything, taking care of the girls myself. I had a talk with her before. She'd get all upset and starts crying when I tell her she wasn't being a caring parent and would demand I apologize. What bothers me is that she always calls her ex-husband a horrible parent and tell him she'll get full custody one day. From what I've seen, the guy is doing his best cause the girls are happy whenever he's with them. It's very clear he treats them well, getting them new toys, clothes, snacks, and taking care of things. My girlfriend skips doctor's appointments all the time, which resulted in her 4-year-old having issues with her teeth. 2 days ago, I got home, my girlfriend was out. I found her 4-year-old in the bathroom unsupervised. She was sitting in the tube with a piece of bread in hand and her clothes were wet. I took my phone out and I started recording while I was talking to her, asking questions like where her mom is, what she was doing sitting eating in the tube, why her hair wasn't brushed, etc. It broke my heart. She told me mommy left, didn't make me a peanut butter sandwich, so she was just eating bread, said she wanted to get her clothes changed but mommy wasn't there. I saved the video and I sent it to her ex-husband. Then I took her, changed her clothes / fed her / and let her play with the tablet. I didn't talk to her ex, but clearly, he called her after he got the video and there was an argument. My girlfriend returned. She was furious. She asked what the hell I just did and lashed out, calling me names for trying to screw her over and cause her to lose custody of her girls, cause her ex said he'll be calling his lawyer about the video I sent. She started crying, saying that I should pull my weight instead of conspiring with her ex, and claimed he paid me money to get evidence against her. We argued for hours. She lashed out and said she was done with me. I left to stay with a friend, and he said I f'd up and should expect the worst after this. Those who ask why I'm staying, the kids are the reason I didn't take any actions. I was worried I might not see them because I care about them and want them to be in my life. After this I'm not sure, so I realize I might have f'd up. But I try to not think about myself here and do whatever is best for the kids. The reason I think I might be wrong was when she said that she's struggling with a lot. Instead of helping, I made things harder for her. She was crying, saying that no one loves and cares about her girls more than her. I had people tell me I shouldn't have done this. Everyone's the idiot. Your girlfriend for obvious reasons, your girlfriend's ex for not stepping in, and you for not doing something 13 months ago. So, you've been in this woman's life for 14 months, during which time you've personally observed her neglecting her children on multiple occasions, and it never occurred to you to call CPS once. This kind of stuff is the reason they exist. Honestly, even if the dad gets custody, if I'd found out that someone had been aware my son was being neglected and done nothing, I wouldn't trust that person further than I can throw them. So, provided that the courts find him remotely competent, which they may not, the odds that you'll never see these kids again are unfortunately high. But if you genuinely love them, you need to call CPS regardless of what the lawyers do, and you need to do it yesterday. Based on what you've said, they're in very real physical danger. Also, Honestly, we don't know why the dad doesn't have custody. While it could have been the court deciding women are naturally maternal, OP doesn't know him or the full situation of the ex's living situation. He could be a fun dad but neglectful too. CPS is the safest bet for everyone involved, not vigilante videos and getting clout on Reddit. I'm torn here. The girls are obviously in a bad situation, so something needed to be done. But what do you know about the dad? Him buying two kids snacks and toys doesn't mean he's a good parent either. He also didn't text you back or come get his children. If I were him, I'd be in my car driving to get my kids ASAP. I think you probably should have called CPS, or the equivalent depending on where you are. They could assess the situation and place the girls in a foster home or with dad, depending on what they find. Also, it's taken you 14 months to even do this. Meanwhile, you've been dating this woman who neglects her kids while doing very little about it. Not the idiot, she's neglecting those kids. She can't have it both, she can't ignore her kids and still want full custody. But I question the validity of this post because really? Airing out the family's dirty, and wet, apparently, laundry on Reddit. In the case that it is true, don't expect her to still be your girlfriend after this, since technically you did betray her. But betraying a neglectful parent for the sake of the kids is not an idiot thing to do. Would I be the idiot if I left my mom behind in an abusive home? There has been growing tension between myself, 20F, and my father, 62F, since I started dating my boyfriend, 21M, in 8th grade. We were 13 and 14 at the time, my father was against it, and still is 7 years later. My boyfriend's parents, who am I really close with, give their kids a lot of freedom, and my father definitely has a problem with it. Throughout middle school, high school, and my first 2 years of college, I live at home and commute. I have fought with my father about what I was or wasn't allowed to do in my free time. In high school, I wasn't allowed to go to a football game. Even now, pre-pandemic, but also in a general sense, I am not allowed to go out last minute on the weekends, so my plans have to be set in stone at least 2 days beforehand and can still be vetoed by my father. The reason because I said so is still valid in my father's mind even though I am almost 21 years old. There are plenty of other small instances that have happened over the years that all point to my father having an extreme issue with control. I have always been, and still am, a straight A student, so my father's argument to me that my boyfriend is a bad influence makes no sense to me. My boyfriend just encourages me to stand up for myself, which my father obviously doesn't like. While my mother, 59F, would stand up for me, nothing has changed, which led to her and I coming up with lies about where I was going / who I was with to get out of the house. She was always aware of where I actually was. Leading to today. My father, suspecting that I was lying, recently went through my text messages and presented me with evidence that I was lying to him and sending inappropriate texts to my boyfriend. I was furious with him for invading my privacy. He claims he doesn't know me, is threatening to stop paying the small portion of my tuition that he contributes to, take me off the car insurance which I need to commute to school, and is threatening to confront my boyfriend, who has been encouraging me to move out for over a year at this point, because all he wants is a good F***ck. It makes me feel horrible. My boyfriend's parents are willing to take me into their home and support me. My main concern is leaving my mom behind in this environment. He is just as controlling with her, if not more. He controls all of the finances, while she turns over her entire paycheck to pay monthly house bills because my father is self-employed working from home. She says she recognizes that these are clear signs of an abusive marriage, but she is scared that she won't be able to support herself if she left. After our most recent argument, she has repeatedly told me she will leave, but I'm not sure if she is being completely truthful with herself or me. I feel like I would be the idiot if she is actually going to make an effort to leave and I move out without helping her. Would I be the idiot if I leave without my mom? Not the idiot. As hard as it is to leave, you cannot protect her by staying. All you can do is put yourself in his dangerous sphere of influence. Keep the lines of communication open, be ready to help her if she decides to get out, but she has to be the one that ultimately makes the decision to protect herself and leave. Not the idiot. You should absolutely take care of yourself first, help your mom as you can from the outside. I stayed in a situation very similar to this for much longer than I should have. I have thrived every second out of that house and I would not be where I am now if I didn't leave when I did. Not the idiot. Staying doesn't protect her, as she is having to cover for you and keep you out of his abuse. Leaving her with an abusive partner would be bad if you were in any position of power, but you are not. If possible, you could help her by finding resources to make leaving safer/easier, but otherwise just do what you can to get out ASAP. Am I the idiot for refusing to help my stepbrother pay for his wife's surgery using my inheritance money? First of all, I am 39, just wanna say F cancer. I've lost my mom and my son to this awful disease. My son passed away in 2015. Every day it still hurts the same. My mom and dad were divorced. I mostly lived with my dad for several reasons. My stepbrother and I don't get along so well. To be frank, I do not see him as a brother because of how he behaved during my mom's and my son's difficult days. I took care of my mother solely. My dad didn't care. He didn't even try to get the family to comfort me by at least visiting once in a while. During my mom's sickness and after her death, no one wanted to spend time with me. I was not invited to birthdays/family dinners/night etc. This year's Christmas was filled with tears and unpleasant memories. My loved ones weren't there. I was literally wallowing in my misery, reminiscing about how my life used to be before everything was ruined. I remember 1 week after my son's death, my stepbrother had his wedding. He actually had the nerve to send me an invitation via my dad, thinking that I might attend. I was upset, not gonna lie. They downplayed my grief and made it worse to process my loss. I inherited money from my mom. I haven't done anything with it yet. I decided to not make major decisions during the first year of grief. My days are the same. I just visit my aunt from time to time and we talk. My dad and stepmom have been visiting my stepbrother's wife who was in/out of the hospital for the past 2 months. I honestly don't ask since my stepmom and her son don't feel comfortable talking about it. My dad sat with me and talked about the family putting money together to help pay for medical debts and prepare for my stepbrother's wife's surgery at the end of February. He asked since I now have money then I can contribute and help with the surgery. I refused and tried to change the subject. But he went on arguing about how I'm supposed to help my brother and support him, especially now. I only replied by asking him one question. I asked him where was my brother when I was struggling? My dad didn't like that. He told me to let bygones be bygones and stop making this about me, and making the situation hard for everyone. He said he promised my stepmom and stepbrother that he'll convince me to pay, and I'm making him look bad right now. We ended up yelling at each other. I told him that's not my problem. He got my aunt involved in this mess and keeps saying I'm giving up on family and I'm being spiteful and bitter. I felt guilty but felt awful that they're asking for my mom's money. My mom who they didn't even visit while she was sick. I understand what they're going through because I lived it with my son. It's every father's worst nightmare to see their son struggle like that. Then to have to suffer another great loss is too much. Not the idiot. Don't let them guilt trip you. You can bet that after giving them your mom's money, they would start treating you the same way they did. I am so sorry for the loss of your mother and your son, and you deserve better than your father's family. Not the idiot. Your dad promised his wife and stepson that he would convince you to pay your inheritance from your mother? Your father is an immense idiot. Not the idiot, you don't get to abandon people you claim you love and then turn around and ask for handouts. I am so sorry for everything you have been going through, you have my condolences. Do whatever you got to do to keep you okay. Am I the idiot for telling my brother's boss, my boyfriend, that he's a deadbeat, causing him to get fired? Boyfriend co-owns a small company. We knew each other as kids but reconnected about 6 months ago when brother asked me to bring him something at work, and that's where I saw boyfriend again. Brother has a son, nephew. I am a very involved auntie to nephew. I have a son the same age as him and the boys are friends, as well as cousins, so I communicate with nephew's mother frequently, arrange playdates, and babysit. I have to go directly to nephew's mother for this, because brother is not involved in nephew's life. He pays child support, but it's barely anything, and he still complains about it. He has met nephew twice, both times by accident, and hates that I'm in nephew's life at all. Then last month boyfriend called to say he couldn't come over as planned because he'd be working late to solve a work-related crisis. He sounded panicked and the call was short, so I didn't get more information until the next night, when he asked how nephew was doing. I said fine and asked why he was interested. He said brother forgot to do an important task at work which caused a lot of problems, and then bailed on fixing it, saying nephew was ill which caused him to forget the task at first, and he had to go home, rather than stay and fix it, in order to look after nephew. I told boyfriend, in no uncertain terms, that brother has nothing to do with nephew and nephew is in perfect health. Boyfriend was confused, saying that brother has bailed on work several times to take care of nephew, or blamed crises he caused on being distracted by nephew's poor health. I told boyfriend that was all BS, and that brother is a deadbeat who has nothing to do with nephew. Boyfriend then got someone talk to brother about it, saying he can't keep bailing like that and that if nephew was ill then brother could bring nephew to work from home, or something else. Brother then bailed on work a couple weeks ago, saying nephew had the flu. After a short conversation, brother was fired. Brother has since realized that he was getting away with this until I started dating his boss. He called me accusing me of telling boyfriend that he's a deadbeat. I didn't confirm or deny anything, but I made a comment that given it's a small company boyfriend is always short-staffed when brother bails unexpectedly and has to work late when he does this, and faking an illness for the kid he doesn't see is effed up, unfair, and generally disgusting and disappointing. Brother called me an idiot and said I cost him his job. Boyfriend says it isn't my fault but admitted brother probably would have gotten away with it if not for me. My entire family is calling me an idiot for putting brother out of work, as he is struggling to find a new job and might have to move back in with our parents. They want me to ask boyfriend to rehire him, but I've refused. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. He was fired for poor performance and consistently lying to cover it up, not because of anything you did. I would have gotten away with it if not for my pesky sister. Doesn't make it your fault. Not the idiot. Brother actively lies to boss. It was bound to happen sooner or later. A bit digging and requests for doctor's notes is all it would have taken to make that house of cards fall. Not the idiot. He caused his own problem lying to his boss. He would have been fired eventually. No employer will put up with that forever. His lies caused a lot of overtime for your boyfriend. It was affecting your relationship. Your family is out of line asking you to get him rehired. He got himself in trouble, not you.